Starting at 9 o'clock tonight, crews are going to begin to transition to open the new New York Bridge. The new proposal would impact dispensaries across the state, including Etain Health here in Yonkers. According to police, a woman tried to use an app to sell her cell phone. Commuters on Metro North's Hudson Line remember it like it was yesterday. Simon Property Group was said to have impeded retailers here at Woodbury Common from opening stores in New York City. The village of Pelham is hoping to see revitalization to its downtown area. One Ramapo police officer got here right away and kicked open several doors, alerting residents to evacuate.
Drivers will head across one part of the new span tonight for the very first time. Fox News' Josh Rultenberg joins us in Nyack.
Good morning, CJ. People in our state have been waiting years for this day. Starting at 9 o'clock tonight, crews are going to begin to transition to open the new New York Bridge. But of course, like you said, they had to go through that late morning rush from Westchester to Rockland over the old bridge first. On Thursday morning, Governor Andrew Cuomo introduced the twin span bridge that will officially be named after his father next year. That's when the second span and the entire $3.98 billion project will be complete.
I cross the bridge every day for work, so I think it's great news.
I'm glad to see it opening. I can't wait to go across it tonight or maybe tomorrow and see what it's all about.
The beautiful new 3.1-mile bridge has steel cables pointing 400-plus feet up, wider lanes, and vibrant new technology. Not bad for a job that took more than 7,000 workers to do.
I think it looks great. It looks very updated and different.
$4 billion well spent?
Yeah, Governor Cuomo, he did a good job.
All four westbound lanes on the new bridge are scheduled to open to traffic no later than 8 o'clock tomorrow morning.
In the beginning, most likely be a lot of traffic, people who actually want to just cross the bridge.
Reasonable minds understand that, and so you just go with the flow. We're used to it around here.
And of course, once that beautiful bridge opens, it's expected to be that way for the next 100 years.
Thanks much, Josh. And really, it looks like a gorgeous bridge.
Oh, absolutely, CJ. I mean, that's $3.98 billion well spent. You heard the woman in the piece. She praised Governor Cuomo, and it's a gorgeous day as well. It's a little bit of a breeze, but really couldn't ask for anything better, CJ.
All right, that's our Josh Rultenberg.
36-year-old Logan Smith, who lives at 165 Highland Avenue, says a light in his kitchen kept going on and off. The next thing he knew, there was a fire. But Logan also tells me the fire is just another setback in his already difficult life.
My heart is pounding, but I'm trying to keep calm.
Smith says he was out earlier with a friend by the downtown Yonkers waterfront, venting about a recent health prognosis. He came back home to relax, but then there was a fire.
I immediately dialed 911 on my cell phone, but they kept me on hold.
Logan couldn't fight the fire himself, so he went downstairs to get a neighbor.
We tried to put it out, but the fire came back again, and we just couldn't handle it.
Both managed to escape. Shortly thereafter, Yonkers Fire Department arrived on scene.
We were able to stretch hose up there, put it out.
Once he was cleared to go back in, Logan took me through the damage in his apartment.
Started up here, so they tore everything down. It's destroyed some of the stuff in the room, and I thank God I survived this. This is materials, things that could always be replaced. I'm just glad that everyone got out safely.
Yet Logan's problems don't end here. The 36-year-old is battling colitis, which could lead to the same cancer that took his father's life last November. But all he's worried about is his 14-year-old son, Jose, who he has been looking after by himself since he was a newborn.
Today, when I took that walk, I had to think about, God forbid, if something was to go wrong, who would be there for my son? Because that's all I have.
Now, if there's any good news for Logan, it's that his insurance company was able to put him in a motel room overnight, but he still has a lot going on moving forward, as you saw, and he needs all the help he can get. I'm just off Route 6 by the Bear Mountain Bridge, where 6 years ago, Chappaqua teen Evan Lieberman was killed in a car accident. His father, Ben, wants authorities to get tougher on texting while driving.
And every time I'm in a car and I see it, it reminds me.
At the time, the driver said that he fell asleep at the wheel, but later was found to be texting and driving. Fast forward, and Governor Cuomo is now pushing a device which could find out on its own whether or not your phone was in your hands. From 2011 to 2015, 12 people were killed and close to 3,000 were injured in cell phone-related crashes. Yet a possible new law could cut into those numbers and would require drivers involved in a crash to give their phones up to police. Cops would then use a textilizer, which plugs into the driver's phone and scan logs and collect data. Are you in favor of the textilizer?
I absolutely am. And I'm also in favor of changing the ridiculous law that lets you text 3 times before you lose your license.
It's called a textilizer because it would work just like a breathalyzer would for measuring a person's alcohol intake. Under the proposed bill, if drivers refuse to hand over their phones, they would lose their license just like a suspected drunk driver would if they refused a sobriety test. The textilizer is far from being put into practice for several reasons. First, the technology isn't quite finished, according to Celebrate, the company who develops the device. And second, privacy and civil liberties groups are questioning if the machine would violate your rights.
I don't want to be involved with legislation that's going to invade anybody's privacy, but I don't want to bury another child.
Now, some experts are skeptical about the latter because they feel it could access more than authorities should be able to, like your personal information. However, if such a device was made available to law enforcement, maybe it would save lives and prevent horrific crashes like the one that took place near here nearly 6 years ago. In Fort Montgomery, Josh Rultenberg, FiOS 1 News. CJ, showing the words "this doesn't offend me" with the Confederate flag on Instagram is just part of the reason the Newburgh PBA is facing backlash this morning. The other, the group saying what does bother them, and the two don't even compare.
I'm just really shocked.
I think it's offensive.
They posted that. They got a problem.
The picture posted on Instagram by the Newburgh Patrolmen's Benevolent Association has the Confederate flag with the caption, "This doesn't offend me," followed by an image of what appears to be 2 black men with their pants below their waist that reads, "But this bleep does."
And I don't understand how someone could be shocked over, that can't be shocked over the Confederate flag, but be shocked over somebody sagging their pants.
The meme was taken down Tuesday.
I'm glad it was taken down. I think it's unfortunate that certain people might still believe in that.
The Police Superior Officers Association released a statement saying in part, the actions put forth by one individual that posted to the PBA's social media account is appalling and in no way reflects the views of the PSOA or its members. We completely and wholeheartedly condemn any form of discrimination based on race, ethnicity, sex, religion, or sexual orientation. Newburgh's Black Council members were extremely upset with the union, calling it a pseudo-endorsement of the Confederate flag.
I think whoever posted it should be penalized. I think this should definitely be some type of walk or rally or march, like as soon as possible. I will be in the front line of that march.
Now, this obviously comes just 2 weeks after a woman was killed in Charlottesville, Virginia, as she and nonviolent protesters were trying to combat a white supremacist rally. In Newburgh, Josh Rultenberg, FiOS 1 News.